What's a story where you agree with the bad guys? That guy in B-movie, Jack and the Beanstalk. Some jerk finds the giant's house and starts taking all his best stuff. Peter Pan. The pirates are just grown-up lost boys that he brought to Neverland. They just want to leave and return to their lives. Tom the Cat. He was trying to rid of a mouse that frequently stole food and trashed the house. Tom was just doing his job as the cat of the house. Men, what are you too afraid to ask women? Do y'all ever wear heels just to hear the clip-clopping of them on the pavement like you're the main character in a movie? Because that's what I'd do if I wore heels. Yup, but the feeling is stronger when walking in a fancy building. But really, what do you actually want to eat? What's wrong? Nothing. Are you sure? I said I'm fine. What job position is super overpaid? My uncle was a commercial airline pilot. He described his job as vastly overpaid in normal circumstances and vastly underpaid in emergency situations. My mom, from whom I am estranged, works as the vice president of reward at an international company. She basically arranges contracts so millionaires can get more money and gets paid $189,000 a year for it. Even she thinks it's ridiculous. Generally, American government contractor positions requiring high security clearances. Entry-level pay isn't that high, but once you're cleared, other contractors will offer bigger bucks because you can get cleared with them quickly. Jump from one to another, wait 2 years, do it again. Anything that could be reduced to, I make a lot of money because I move a lot of money, like brokers, insurers, Wall Street stuff, real estate agents. What was your "it can't be that easy" moment? Found a 60-inch TV by the dumpster. Plugged it in, it didn't turn on. Looked up common problems with the model number, bought a part on eBay for $20, replaced part, had a huge TV. Got a salary request and applying for a job, accidentally wrote double what I meant to write since the number keys were right next to each other. They accepted anyway. I started looking for a job last year and got 3 offers within 2 months, 2 of which were significantly higher pay. Made me realize I've been sitting around way too long. Drinking water. Used to have issues getting to sleep and then waking up grumpy and tired. Water has changed my life. What's the worst part of having a child? Having to deal with their total lack of self-preservation. They are creative and come up with all kinds of ways to try and kill themselves. Keeping ahead of the game is exhausting. Worrying about how the outside world will treat them. You know those video games where you have to escort a character to a destination without them being attacked? That's parenting. Those missions are a pain in the ass. If they are born with severe disabilities, you will need to take care of them or make plans for their care for as long as they are alive. It's heartbreaking, many marriages don't make it. My utmost respect to parents of special needs children. What grossed you out so much in a relationship that you just left? She was so rude to my friends. We went out to dinner with them and she constantly made fun of one's height, something he's clearly been insecure about. I told her to chill and then she said my hairline is far back but no one notices because I'm tall. I broke up with her the next morning. When they sent me videos of them cutting themselves because I accidentally fell asleep for 2 hours and they were convinced I just stopped liking them and they wanted to kill themselves. Because I took a nap. Big no from me, man. The swastika I found under her left tit. What a sentence. The obsession with social media. It was uncomfortable until I couldn't stand it anymore. Way too different views on life and priorities. What's the most messed up thing you've ever seen? I saw my little brother getting hit by a car and flying a few meters through the air when he was only 6 years old. Fortunately, he didn't even break a bone, but damn, I'll never forget that. I tripped over a dead body in tall grass working an accident trying to find the missing passenger. It was 3 a.m. and raining. I once saw a woman who was stuck with her arm in a hydraulic press. It came out all flat and I cannot delete this image from my mind. Arm was removed from her body after surgery. Watching a car traveling at about 130 miles per hour in my rearview mirror almost hit me but instead hit the base of a bridge, the crunching sound, then bodies flying everywhere, then total silence. What hobby is an immediate red flag? As someone who lives in LA, honestly. Any girl that calls herself an influencer. Child beauty contests. Those things are raw degeneracy, egocentrism, and leave a fucking time bomb inside the child's mind. Worshippers of hustle culture and fake financial gurus. They seem to just fall into one scam after another, like drop shipping, YouTube automation, then to some crypto scheme. Smoking weed and making that your personality. Like, I have nothing against weed and have done it myself many times, but I just can't stand the stoners whose whole life revolves around it and act like it's a miracle cure for everything. What is the most dangerous situation that you got into because you were horny? Got drunk at a bar on a business trip. The bar was in a restaurant that closed pretty early. Was outside having a smoke when one of the employees came out after his shift and asked if I wanted to go to a party and meet some girls. I said yes. It was a crack house. I smoked crack because it seemed like a better idea than being murdered for being a narc. I was still wearing a suit and tie. I once had a girlfriend who left a trail of her clothes leading to my bedroom, where she was waiting under the covers, naked, holding a diving knife between her breasts. She wanted to see if I'd look at her body first or the knife. She also gave me a vial of her blood as a present one time. I am a woman, met a guy I'd been talking to in a dark park and got in his car. Yep, and I think the worst part was I've watched every episode of Criminal Minds and still went. Horny is dangerous. What is your got caught masturbating story? Does fake masturbating count? I was in boarding school and we weren't allowed to have computers or electronics. I was in my bed playing with my PSP when one of the supervisors comes in. I panic and hide my PSP under the covers and he didn't see it. He comes over to me, already suspicious, and asks me, "What are you doing?" I didn't want to lose my PSP, so said, "Masturbating," and he believed me. PSP saved. There was a steaming hot cup of tea on my bedside table when I opened my eyes and took my headphones off. Single sentence horror story. Sorting myself out while partner was asleep. Was interrupted by him grabbing my arm and saying, "You're okay, I'm right here." Turns out he woke up and thought I was having a seizure. Students, have you ever lost your temper with a teacher? My second grade teacher was Sister Bridget. She didn't like me at all. One day I was feeling sick and I asked to use the restroom. She told me I was lying. As she tried to tell me why I was a liar, I vomited all over her shoes. A friend of mine wanted to go to a certain university that was out of state and somewhat tough to get into. The counselor told him not to waste his time as he would never get in. This pissed him off, so he went to the principal, who told him to trust the counselor as that was her job. He applied anyways, got accepted, and taped 2 copies to the counselor and principal's door. He couldn't afford to go anyways, but he was trying to prove a point. In 6th grade my teacher wanted to be liked by the class, so he bullied and embarrassed me along with the rest of the cool kids. Teachers, what was the strangest encounter you've had with a parent? I had a parent get mad because I failed her kid's paper. Don't you know that can hurt their self-esteem? My response of maybe he should have done the work didn't help. She threatened to go to the school board, the mayor, and the superintendent in that order. At conferences this year, a parent came in irate about the fact that his daughter had to learn Obama math. I tried to keep a straight face until he was done. When I reminded him that I'm the history teacher, he never did go see the math teacher, and I never did figure out what Obama math is. My wife, a high school teacher, loves to talk about the time she had parent-teacher conferences and a 14-year-old boy sat in his father's lap throughout the entire conference. Incredibly awkward.